Okay, today we're going to be talking about watch boxes. If you are building a watch collection, you need to have some place to keep them. And while there's a lot of different options out there, watch boxes are probably one of the best options. With the watch box, you can not only store your watches, but it also kind of gives you a way to display them and make it easier for you to kind of see them and get your collection sort of taken in at a glance to sort of choose the one you want to wear in the morning. And today I want to do a little bit of a comparison between two different watch boxes at two different price ranges, one at $30, one at $150. Let's check it out and get into it. Hey guys, this is Dave. Welcome back to Just the Watch. This is your budget watch collecting channel. I live in Japan and I've been trying to build a good budget watch collection for the last couple of years. That's sort of morphed into a YouTube channel about budget watch collecting. And so if you're interested in that, I ask you to please subscribe. If you're interested in getting a cool t-shirt like this, I'm selling them on my t-shirt shop. You can check that out. But today we're going to be talking about watch boxes. Now for the last year or so, I've been using pretty much the cheapest one I could find on Amazon. I think I picked it up for about $30. And I don't even really remember which brand it was. But I'm pretty sure the same watch box is sold under a bunch of different brand names. It's a Chinese manufactured product. I think in America it's branded Songmix. But recently I got an email from another Amazon seller and they're making kind of a more premium watch box at a $150 price point. They asked if they could send one in for review and I told them sure, I'd love to check it out. So I thought it would be kind of interesting to compare maybe like the cheapest watch box you can find on Amazon, which is what I've been using, to this more expensive one that you can find for around $150 and see what the difference is and which one is better suited for your collection. So let's go ahead and check them out. Okay, so here's the premium watch box from Beerust. Now this is one that was sent in for review. I do get to keep it after the review is done. However, other than the watch box itself, I did not receive any compensation from Beerust for this review. So what you're getting here is a PU leather covered watch box. PU meaning polyurethane, so this is an imitation leather that has a pretty nice looking leather texture to it, but it is not genuine leather. It's definitely not like top grain leather. If you were going to get a watch box that was covered in like a premium top grain or full grain leather, you know, you're probably going to be looking at like $300 to $500 or something like that, easily. So at a $150 price range, this is probably the best you're going to get as far as material goes. It has a nice feel to it. It's got a nice look to it. It is not actual leather. You know, sometimes PU leather has a really low quality leather backing and then the top, the actual surface of it is complete polyurethane. It's an imitation texture. So just know that when you're getting this up front. This one is an 8-slot watch box. So you have 8 fairly large slots. So it's going to accommodate some pretty large size watches, no problem. These slots are also pretty deep in there, so the watches will sit down and have some protection from the sides. Included are 8 of these pillows that are also, you know, decent quality. They're not the most amazing pillows I've ever seen, but they protect the watch. They look nice. Not bad. The box itself has these 2 hinges here, which are pretty nice, and this is definitely one of the major upgrades and selling points of this one over the cheaper watch boxes. We'll get to that in a minute. On the top, you're getting kind of a clear plastic covering, which allows you to see the watches inside. And then this one has a drawer down below that is a great place for storing straps and that kind of stuff. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 slots in there. Pretty spacious. You could also store sunglasses and other things if you wanted. I'm obviously using it for straps. Now, I would have liked it if this drawer could be completely removed so you could kind of use it as a tray. But it does have a catch in there, so this is as far out as it goes. It's kind of stuck in there. As far as construction goes, you're getting some nice stitched accents all the way around. Seems to be pretty nicely done there. But you know, if you look down, kind of closely down in here, it looks like that there's a lot of gluing going on as well. That's kind of glued this on. But hopefully the stitching will also help to seal it in. But it looks like you're primarily getting a glued construction with the exception of the hinges. I don't know what material is in here. It feels like it's wood underneath the imitation leather here, and that's probably what these hinges are screwed down into. Feels pretty solid. And overall, yeah, really solid product. Nice little knobs here for using it. Overall, really good feel. Okay, let's take a look at the cheaper one and see what the comparison looks like. So this one, again, I've been using for about a year, and the material on the top is much lower quality. You know, this basically is kind of looks like it's trying to look like leather, but it looks pretty much just like vinyl. It has some definite signs of scuffing and stuff over the year that I've had it. Yeah, kind of a really fake look to it. In this one, it has a locking latching system, which is kind of nice. You can have, it does come with a key. I've never actually used it, but you can use that to open it up. And then when you open it up, this one is actually a 12-slot watch box, so bigger capacity. But one of the major things is you'll notice is the hinge here. So they have just a piece of fabric is kind of supporting most of the hinge along the back. And then they have this one metal hinge on one side, which always makes me a little bit nervous because you can see when it folds down, it kind of gets pretty close to the watches that are closest over here. So I'm always nervous that that hinge is going to hit the side of the watches. Because this is a 12-slot watch box, there's not a lot of room for the watches in here. They're fairly close. The pillows are much shallower, but just overall fit and finish, not as nice as the other one. The one thing that I do like is that this drawer is completely removable, so that's really nice. You can use it as a tray. You know, this one, they've gone with this kind of jewelry section, which you're supposed to store like rings and stuff, which I don't really use. I would have preferred if it's just more strap storage like on the other one, so I liked that better there. But it is really nice that you can pull this out and take this around with you. So, but going back to this one looks much nicer. It's definitely more of a premium look, and it feels a lot more solid. This one is really starting to kind of fall apart, especially here on the drawer. You can look, so this is glued here, but you can see that this glue is coming out, and it's not going to be much longer that this is going to completely fall apart, and I'll lose that. So, you know, for this $30 one, you know, I would expect to get maybe 2 or 3 good years out of it before the whole thing probably falls apart. You know, for 150 bucks, you would hope that this one's going to last a lot longer. It feels like it's a much more solid product, like everything is better put together and more sturdy. But I've only had this one for a couple of weeks or so, so I don't know what the long-term use of it's going to be. But there's definitely a lot more confidence with these hinges here, with the thickness of the material, and just the overall feel of the box. If you are looking for the more budget watch boxes, I would say look at the hinges is one of the things you want to take a look at the most. So this one is, again, really nice because it has hinges on both sides. They're fairly small and they go into the case, so they don't go anywhere near the watches. So there's no risk of the metal rubbing against the watches. A lot of the really cheap watch boxes don't have any hinges at all. They just have a ribbon. So they have kind of like this fabric ribbon that goes from here to here, and that keeps the lid from flapping all the way backwards. Unfortunately, though, with those ones, if you look at the product pictures even, you'll see that the ribbon kind of hangs over the watches. So it kind of ruins your view of the watches. When you're looking down, you'll see this ribbon kind of hanging over one of your watches. And that's why when I picked out mine, I went with this $30 one that at least had a metal hinge on one side. But again, there's a little bit of risk there because this hinge folds inside the watch box. And if you have a big watch on the side there, you kind of got to be careful of that because you're going to be potentially scraping the side of your watches. So is this worth $150 or basically like 5 times more than this cheaper one? You know, it kind of depends. $150 in a budget watch collection is a lot of money that could be spent towards watches. So again, I would see this as kind of something after your watch collection has settled a little bit, you have it down to, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces that you really like, and you want to invest in something that's a little bit nicer to store them in, then this might be something to consider. It's nice to be able to sit this on your desk, to be able to open it up and kind of get a good look at 8 of your favorite watches, to have them well protected in there and to not have to worry about hinges or anything scratching it. And I feel like this one would last you for a pretty long time. But if you're just starting out, you're just building your collection and you want to invest that money more into the actual watches, yeah, go ahead and go with like a cheap $30 option and kind of use that. Just be careful with it. But again, kind of understand that this is probably not going to last you more than maybe 2 or 3 years before you're going to have to replace it. It's going to start falling apart. So that's what I would say with that. I think they both have their place. Now, one thing I will say about the $150 price point, you know, I think they probably could have sold this for cheaper. I was looking around on Amazon. There's not really much in between here. It kind of jumps from that $30 price point up to this roughly $150 price point. But for the materials and quality that they're using here, I would have liked to have seen this down to more around the $100 range. But for whatever reason on Amazon, it seems like $150 is what they're going for. But what do you guys think? Is this something you would pay $150 for to get kind of a, you know, mid-level watch box like this? Would you go with just the cheap ones? What's been your experience with watch boxes if you have kind of invested in different ones? Let me know down in the comments. It's always great to get your guys' opinions because, you know, I have a very limited number of things that I can check out, but there's a million of you guys out there. So oftentimes the comments in these reviews can be as insightful, if not more insightful than my own review. So check those down below as well. All right, that's going to wrap it up for today. Thank you guys for watching. Again, make sure you check out the t-shirt store. I've got some really cool stuff in there, but we'll leave it at that. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.